Hello and welcome to another 3-string cigar box guitar lesson. So back on 3 strings, and to celebrate the fact, here is a banger of a tune from the Doors, Roadhouse Blues from 1970. So very riff heavy, great to play, probably slightly easier than maybe you think. If you can do a little bit of pick playing, flat pick playing, and some basic sort of hammer on and slide techniques with your fretting hand, then it's definitely possible. So the original Doors recording is in the key of E. Now, it doesn't really translate so well to GDG tuning, but if you wanted to maybe get a spare 3-string and restring it to EBE tuning, then everything we're learning here today, all the riffs, all the chords and all the rest of it, you can just directly play on that particular tuning, that guitar, and it will work perfectly with the recording. So if you want to jam along with the Doors, try that once you've learnt the tune. So let's get straight on with having a look at Roadhouse Blues. So here's our tuning notes. We've got low G, middle D, and high G. So like I was saying, you can restring to EBE if you want to play along with Jim and the boys. And quick plug, there's a complete beginner course available, or various different sort of shorter options if you're interested in flat pick playing or fingerstyle or fretted notes, loads of blues, classic rock, country, so definitely fits along with this particular tune. So follow the link and have a look if you're interested, much appreciated. Let's get on with the tune. So we are playing a blues shuffle, so that means we've got an uneven rhythm. We're going to be doing a lot of alternate picking here, so we're going to be going down, up, down, up, down. And so with a shuffle, the down is long and the up is short, so it's long, short, long, short, long, short. You can even do a little bit of palm muting as required. Again, that's covered in the complete beginner course, but that's just when you're resting on the string close to the bridge, and you can still hear the pitch of the note, but you're dampening, you're muffling it. So basically, we're droning on the low G string, so we're going 1, 2, 3, 4, like that, and then there's little fills in different places. Okay, so straight away we're into a particular technique called Hammer-ons. So that's so in this instance I'm going to start on fret 5 of the bass string. I'm going to pluck that. I'm going to try not to move my first finger. I'm going to tap down onto fret 6, and then I'm even going to tap down again onto fret 7. So that's using fingers 1, 2, 3. And because we're in a shuffle rhythm, that's creating what's called a triplet. So it's 1, 2, 3, and it fits perfectly within that shuffle groove. And it's actually coming in on the 4th beat. So it's like this: 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So basically there's one pick at fret 5 and the other two notes are created by tapping down with these two fingers. But here it is from this angle, so again, bit of palm muting if you want. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now I can use exactly that idea, but he mixes it up and he plays the riff in different places. So we can do exactly the same idea, but we can go onto the middle string and we can play frets 3, 4, 5 and also do 2 hammer-ons. So pick 3 and do 2 hammer-ons onto frets 4 and 5 with the same 2 fingers. So that would also come after 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, and you can even, instead of playing 1, 2, 3 notes, you can even do a slide which just gives you 2 notes. And so that would be, so with the shuffle, if we're going long, short, long, short, long, short, long, short, so you delay sliding. So that's I'm plucking fret 3 and then I'm going to shift up to fret 5, but I'm delaying the slide so we can hear more of fret 3 to give us the long note in the blues shuffle. Long, short, long, short. I can even do that same trick here. I can go long, short, slide from 5 to 7. And so basically you can just mix those up as much as you want. It's fairly sort of loose and improvised. You know, there's a harp, mouth organ, piano, you know, drums and whatnot. So it's all just quite a sort of loose blues kind of groove. So here's the other 2. So there's the hammer-on from 3, 4, 5 on the middle string, or we can even slide from 3 to 5 with either finger. I'm generally favouring the 3rd finger because of the riff that comes afterwards. And the introduction is just that 12 times, and so you can just practice like in sort of mixing between those, but you count to 12 if you wanted to play the exact structure as the original recording. When Jim comes in with the vocals, we're then just going to play that a further 3 times, and then it takes us straight into a particular riff, which is so that is it's all very sort of minor pentatonic kind of vibe to it. Again, that scale was covered in the previous 3-string, which was Heartbreaker by Led Zepp, so you can check that out if you want. But we're going to play 3 on the top string, and then we're going to play fret 5 twice on the middle string. And then the next 2 notes are 3 open on the middle string. So it's 3, 5, 5, 3 open. You may well find it easier to pick all of these notes. I was actually, just to give it a little bit more of a sort of groove, I was actually doing a double pull off. You might find it a bit tricky, so that was where I plucked fret 5 and then pulled off to 3, pulled off again to the middle string, because he does actually incorporate a sort of delayed pull off in the original 6-string lick. So I was going like this. But, you know, pick every note, that would be absolutely fine. So we're going to call that the short lick because it gets incorporated into a longer lick towards the end of the verse. So here it is again, 3 on the top string, 5 on the middle string, 3 open, 3 open, all on the middle string. And the timing of this particular riff, this actually starts on beat 1, so it's a slightly longer note. It's 1, 2 and 3. We're not going to play on beat 3, we're going to play just after beat 3. So it's actually part of a triplet rhythm. It's a little bit complicated. I count triplets 1 and a 2 and a. So I'm going to come in just after beat 3. So it's 1, 2 and 3 and 4 and. So if I was to dead slowly play from the sort of bass riff, I'll do one of them and go straight into that, and I'm gonna do the end of the bass riff on frets 3, 4, 5 on the middle string. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2 and 3 and 4 and straight back to the bass riff. Doesn't matter where you put any of these end little riffs. So like I was saying, when Jim starts singing, so when the verse starts, you go 3 times around the bass riff, and then you go to that short riff, which we've just covered. You go back to the bass riff again. Any ending, you decide what sounds good, which combination. Another 3 times around the bass riff, and then you do this short riff again in full, but it then continues into a longer riff, and it's almost kind of going with the vocal line at this point. So we start again, play exactly what you've just played. You've finished on open D, and then this goes with the going to the Roadhouse bit, and so that is 3, open, 3, open, 3, open on the middle string. Let's do a little slide into fret 5, pick it again, 3 twice. So that's from the going to the Roadhouse. Go into the Roadhouse, gonna have a real good time. So not quite, but very close along with the vocal line at that point. So it's 3, open, 3, open, 3, open, slide into 5. Play it again, and then play 3 twice. This is all on the middle string, open, back to 3. And then finish it off, step up to 3 on the bass string. You can give it a little tweak if you want. And then play the bass, low G. Slide, play it again, twice there, once, one step. And then I think we want to play that again. And then do another, it's like the little ending of the bass riff, so another 3, 4, 5 hammer on. So from when the riff steps onto the bass string, play open twice, and then play it again after a slight pause. And then after this, we just do the short riff again. So in total it's quite long, but it's like a sandwich. The short riff at the beginning, we've got the new bit for the longer variation, and then we're back to the short riff right at the very end. So after the end of the short riff, there we are, finish on the open D, then it's 3, open, 3, open, 3, open, slide. Play it again on 5, 3, twice, open, 3, move to the bass string, give it a little bend if you want, play low G twice, and then again hammer on 3, 4, 5 in the middle string, and then finish with the short riff. So if that seems like a real long-winded, complicated riff to learn, make sure you can play the short one first, because there's not actually so much in the middle. So often with riffs it can be easier to just listen and copy, so that should be your first port of call. But if you want to understand what's happening with the timing of this middle bit, again it's starting on the beat, so the short one's just taking us straight onto the beat. So it's like this: 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3, 4, 1, 2 and 3 and 4, 1, 2 and 3 and 4 and then obviously the timing of the short one's exactly the same at the end. So definitely plenty of stopping, trying on your own, rewinding and all the rest of it. But here is all of verse number 1. So start with the bass riff. So it's 3, 4, it's 1, 2, 3, 4. You can play any of these variations. I'm going to do one more short riff, back to the bass another 3 times. Here we go. Short riff again, but then go in to the long riff. Now at the end of that long riff, that is exactly the very last note you play in verse 2, and then you're on to verse 3, which is very similar, but instead of doing the bass line, we're going to be playing a G7 chord. So that's just fret 3, fret 4, and so this is going to be 1 and 2 and, so I'm going to use upstrokes for that chord. So I'm going to go 1 and 2 and. Now if I want to clip it, I might use the side of my thumb because I need another upstroke afterwards. So I'm just going to block the strings off like that. So there's actually a break before we start verse 2, and so he goes 4 times round. Any combination of those endings. So you still put those endings in on beat 4, so that would be 1 and 2 and 3, 4, 1 and 2 and 3. And you can basically sort of like launch into the riff by doing an open on whichever string you're about to play. So it's like 1 and 2 and 3. So I played the D string going into that, or 1, the low G going into that, and then verse 2. All of the riffs are exactly the same. You're just playing these chord sort of stabs instead of the sort of shuffly bass line. So here's the G7 chord. So it's fret 3, fret 4. So you want to play a bass and then 2 ups. So like I said, I'm clipping the first one, but I'm going to let the second one ring out. And then I'll go open just before the bass riff, or open on the D string if I'm going to play the riff on the D string. So here is all of verse 2. So it's exactly the same sequence as verse 1 with the riffs being identical. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Second, last one. Back to the chords for another 3. And then riff again. Progress to the long one. So that takes us into the chorus, which so because we're in the key of G, the chorus starts on C, which is just a bar. So again, the Fantastic Beginner course will give you lots of bar technique, chord technique, if you want to brush up on that. But it's basically cover all the strings at fret 5 and do a little side step across, either with fingers 2 and 3 or 3 and 4, but you're going to go to frets 8 and 9. So from the C bar you go straight up to 8 and 9. And you can do a down up strum on this, so it's 1 and 2 and back to the chord, down up again, and then add in fret 7. So that's 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and so it's just a shuffle, no triplets, just a straight shuffle, half beat rhythm all the way through. So down, up, bass, 8, 9, down, up on the chord again, and then add in 7 either with your third or pinky finger, the middle string, 4 and, which looks like this: C, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Now you do that 6 times, and then right at the end of the chorus you go up, so we're in C, go up to D. Obviously it's different names for the chords than the original, but C to D, fret 7, triplets, 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3. So that's a full bar of 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2. So you've got 4 triplets because you got 4 beats, and then you go further up again. So that would be into an E flat, so that's fret 8, and these are like stabs. So we've got 1 2 3 2 2 3 3 2 3 4 2 3 stabs, and then back to fret 7, and you can do a sort of slide off where you move this way and just relax the pressure at some point, so you've lost it. So 3 stabs here, 1 2 3. So that is pretty much it. So I'm going to play verse 2 and I'm going to go into the chorus just so you can hear how you join them together. Okay, so 2 3 4, 1, second one, last one, short riff, back to the chords. Remember, any order with these end parts. Last time, short riff progresses to the long one. There's the chorus, third one, fourth one, fifth one, last one, then to D. That takes us into the solo at that point, but I reckon if you can get to that point from the beginning, you're doing pretty well as a 3-string picker. Okay, so that's it. I hope you enjoy learning this tune. Next up, we are staying on 3 strings, and I reckon I might try a bit of the Beatles. So I don't think I've done any Beatles songs yet, so watch this space for any copyright issues, but it is a great one to play on 3 strings, so I will see you in a few days' time for a bit more rock and roll from Liverpool.